As someone with over 100 pairs of shoes and loves keeping them in the rotation, wearing different shoes every single day of the week, committing to wearing one shoe for an entire week was a bit of a struggle, but I made an exception for the latest technology from Adidas on this Climacool Laced version. 8 days to be exact was how long I wore this shoe for. Not one exception, every single time I left the house I wore this shoe. Rain, hail, sleet, dirt or clean, I wore this shoe. And to be honest, there are definitely places I didn't want to be wearing it because as you're going to see, I got these shoes pretty dirty. There were a couple of things that I wanted to test out. Would it get softer over time? Would some of the pieces break off? Would it start to get uncomfortable in certain places? And could I go about and do every single thing that I would do in a normal pair of shoes in this 3D printed pair? So that's exactly what I set out to do. First of all, I wanted to start with the sizing. Now, getting a 3D printed pair of shoes is a little bit hard because, of course, we don't usually get those sort of shoes. It's a very new technology that Adidas is giving us, where literally every single component of this shoe is created all at the same time. And so sizing is going to be a little bit of a struggle. On the Adidas Australia website, these shoes only came in half sizes, so 7.5, 8.5, 9.5 in US. And there wasn't a lot of information around the sizing of this shoe. And so I originally went with my 8.5, which is half a size down from what I usually do. And that was a big mistake. Do not go half a size down. If anything, going half a size up was actually the perfect sizing. So again, half a size up from what you usually are. Normally I'm a size 9 in 2002 Rs, in 1906 Rs, pretty much every other shoe, Nike, Adidas, I'm a size 9 US. But I went with a size 9.5 in this shoe, which is a UK 9, and they fit me absolutely perfectly. Again, go up half a size if you're going to pick this shoe up. This is of course the laced version of this shoe. As you can see, you have this little tiny piece on the front. I actually with this shoe took them off to clean them, and so you can kind of see that they are actually detachable. This black piece comes off the shoe as well as the black laces, of course. And to be honest, if I picked this shoe up in the mock version with no laces, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed them as much because I enjoy having my shoes a little bit tighter around the ankle and the midfoot, and I don't think that the mocked version would have been very good for that. That no laces version, from what I've heard, is actually incredibly hard to put on, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get the laced version, to see if they would be a little bit easier to get on and then tighten up subsequently to fit your foot. And to be honest, I actually found these ones still very hard to put on at certain points because of the sticky kind of plasticky nature of the inside here. There's no felt lining, there's no suede, there's nothing, and so my sock would often get stuck on the inside and I'd kind of have to wiggle my foot in and kind of jiggle it around to find the right spot. But once I did find the right spot, it was very, very comfortable, and then I could tie them up and go about my day. Some of the things I noticed straight away was that it was a little bit uncomfortable around the heel. Some of this piece of the 3D printed material around the ankle is a little bit stiff. However, as I continued to wear them throughout the week, they really, really did soften up. It almost felt like it was a living organism that you put your foot in, and it's a little bit hard at first, and then as you kind of wear them in, you felt it almost conforming to your foot and really, really getting very comfortable. The squish on the heel is very real. I really did feel every single step as I went, and you kind of felt like you were getting propelled with that forward motion. It's got a very wide base, as you can see here, so I did feel very stable. Of course, with normal shoes, you have a stability shank plate in the middle to provide a bit more rigidity around the middle of the foot, but this shoe has different densities around the shoe. So on the bottom, you can definitely feel that it's a bit more rigid, it's a little bit more structured, while still being soft and pliable, and you can really even still feel the squish just by putting your fingers down on it. And then as you get towards the upper, they're a little bit more flimsy, so they've definitely adjusted the 3D printing process for different parts of the shoe. There's some good arch support as well, and it really does open up once you get into the front of the shoe. And then of course the other aspect I really love is that it looks very cool. It's very sleek, it's very stylish, it almost has that Ultra Boost runner type of vibe, but of course it's a completely different material than anything that we've seen before from Adidas. One thing that I did see with this shoe, of course you're going to get the dirty, and I got the bone white kind of colorway, and they definitely do show the dirt. There's no way to hide it really. The outsole is probably the most scuffed up it's going to be. However, I did want to see how well I could clean it. And just comparing the two models, you've got the dirty model here and you've got the one that's cleaned, you can pretty much see that there's a fair difference. You can kind of tell that this is actually very dirty on the bottom of the sole, and this is still dirty, but nowhere near as bad as this one. Looking also at the heel, you can kind of see that there's this big scuff mark on the back heel tab on this one, and then that scuff mark, which was there, is actually no longer there at all. So it really does take some level of cleaning product very nicely, and I think that kind of bodes well for wearing them often, because they could just be cleaned over and over, of course. One place where the dirt definitely didn't get out was this middle part here where you can kind of see the dirt. But unless I get like a pressure washer or some sort of long bristled soft brush, I'm not really going to be able to get in there. So some people were asking me, what if you went walking on the beach or something? And to be honest, that's probably one place that I would definitely not recommend going, is the beach, because you are going to get sand absolutely everywhere in this shoe. So these are definitely not like beach shoes or even water shoes, to be honest. So overall, they really did clean up very nicely after a little bit of a wash. I think you could even put these in the washing machine if you really wanted to, because they would just completely drain all the water through the holes on the inside of the shoe. I probably did close to say 100,000 steps in these over the 7 days, and I didn't feel like any sort of pain at all. They were very, very comfortable, very squishy still. And once you got your foot in there, like I said, it's a little bit hard to get your foot in, it was perfectly normal. And with the temperature being what it is right now here in Australia, it's, coming out of winter into sort of more summer months, I could definitely feel the breeze coming through this shoe. And they're definitely going to be ones that I'm wanting to wear over summer. That's kind of the reason for doing this wear test, is kind of to prep them for any sort of summer wear. And I will definitely be wearing them because they are very breathable, very light. And here in Australia, where it gets very hot, we can use all the help we can get with our footwear. I kind of thought that people would look at them a little bit weird, and I definitely did see a couple of people being like, what the heck has he got on feet? Like, that's kind of weird. But some people didn't even notice, because I was wearing, say, baggy pants. You can't even really tell because you just see the outsole or the front of the toe box. And of course, regular people, not us sneakerheads, they don't really look at other people's shoes. We obviously, the first thing we see is look down at someone's shoes. But to be honest, no one really noticed. So if you're worried about people thinking you're a bit weird for wearing some 3D printed shoes, don't worry, they don't care. There was a grey version of this shoe, so if you don't really want the dirty white kind of look, you can go for the grey version. And I really hope that they actually bring out some more versions. I reckon a black one of these would actually go super, super hard. You could even do like a navy blue or something like that. And to be honest, there probably will be some sales of these shoes coming because they are still sitting in Adidas stores, in your local boutiques. They're still there, so they're probably going to be wanting to offload some of these colorways. So if you can find these for a cheap price, again, go up half a size. I can definitely recommend these shoes. They're comfy, they're cozy, they're breathable, they're light. They look pretty cool as well, and being able to clean them over and over again is a real bonus. It's also kind of, as a sneaker nerd, being able to see different tech on different pairs of shoes is really intriguing, and I really like being a part of what Adidas has done on this shoe. So I'm going to put this lace piece back on. Thank you again so much to everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like the video, please subscribe. Please watch more videos. We've got a podcast. We've got other short reviews. Do a ton of videos on this channel, and we've also got some sneaker of the year lists coming up. So if you want to join us for the journey, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Have a good day.